Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Ares as our Wehrmacht, and his opponent today is going to be Nub as our US. Map today is going to be Road to Tunis. Scary, I have been pro... looks like Ares has been having a rough go of it today. Map today is going to be Road to Tunis. So 4 quadrants divided by these 4 cutoff points. Very common to see players fighting over the points on the road as the game goes on. You do occasionally see players make moves on these guaranteed field cutoff points right next to their next to their bases. So really like this map. Can be really some brutal fights right through the middle, and I think that's a lot of fun. I would say that games tend to go a little bit longer on this map. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I don't feel like this map has anything in particular about it that leads to a longer game. But, yeah, can be good. So, Ares already locking in his breakthrough battle group here. And going for those assault packages on his grenadiers. And we'll see what he has in store for us from that battle group. Let's take a quick look while we have just a moment of quiet here. So pretty common to see folks go through this breakthrough, right? It enables you to capture territory extremely quickly. Can really lead to some big swings in the mid game. Mechanized assault group also very popular. Ares trying to get his opponent to speak here. And, I mean, we might even get to see a tiger, although I would say it's relatively uncommon to see that. Nub is apparently locked in here, unwilling to communicate to his opponent. Nothing wrong with that, of course. I mean, I'm sure these players see each other on the ladder. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Ribbing each other a little bit here. Oh, no, yeah, that's funny that he said that he also reset his settings. That happened to me. It happened to me because I broke my my OneDrive and totally screwed up all my sound settings. You may have noticed that in my recent videos here, but apparently Nub also experiencing some technical difficulties here. First fight of the game breaking out here. Both players have opened fairly standard. US player actually went for an engineer instead of second scout and then into rifleman. So happy that we're not going to see the heavy machine gun spam this game. German player, of course, went into grenadiers, followed by heavy machine gun there. So nothing unusual just yet. German player adding on his medical station now. Heal up his units as they come back to base. And US player continuing down the rifleman line there. Grenadiers taking advantage of this heavy cover here. Engineers closing the gap to negate the power of that cover, but are going to be driven back by the Grenadiers. May even go down here. Grenadiers not super accurate on the move, but are very long range. Does look like the Engineers barely going to make it out of there. I do believe a fight is also happening elsewhere on the map here. Maybe not anymore. It does look like our German player is going to win this fight, especially with those assault packages coming in. Going to make short work of the unit there. Using the sprint ability to quickly get over to this fuel, so great use of all those units' abilities there. Luftwaffe company on the way, as well as the infantry support center here. Did see our US player adding on grenades as well. Pretty common to see that. Grenades, good answer to something like a scout car in the early game. Pioneers grabbing away this guaranteed fuel right outside his opponent's base there, so going to be feeling pretty good about that. And in fact, our US player is about to have literally zero fuel income at a critical moment when he's hoping to potentially get up to some light vehicles or some critical infantry technologies there. Looks like the engineers did manage to stop those pioneers from capturing. So, okay there, and Rifleman gonna grab this fuel. More scouts taking away guaranteed fuel, so both players trying to deny each other as many resources as possible here. And yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a scrappy little game here. He's playing zoomed in. Yeah, so there's a setting, for those of you that don't know, there's a setting that allows you to zoom out further. I don't think that this works unless you've checked that setting. So... so I can zoom in a little. Yeah. I think he's right. You could scroll out as far as you see me here, but only if you've checked that setting. So, scout car on the field here. Gonna close the gap with these riflemen. They do have access to those AT grenades, and our US player does have a decent amount of munitions here. Looks like he's not gonna finish the capture there. I think that's fine, right? He's just denying that to his opponent. Is gonna win the fight on this side and walk away with a little bit of fuel here. Breakthrough coming in for our German. Gonna let him pick up territory rather quickly here. So he's gonna quickly capture this point as well as the center point while that's active. And Pioneer's even on the guaranteed fuel once again, so is going to deny that to his opponent. Once again, down to almost no fuel income here. So well done by our German, slowing his opponent down every chance he gets. This player has locked in the heavy weapons here. So we could see some assault carriers potentially. We'll see if he wants to use the exchangeable parts as well. It's been, I feel like it's been way less common this patch. I mean, literally every game last patch felt like assault carriers with exchangeable parts into 75mm. I mean, it was every stinking game. And it wasn't just one player either. It was a whole bunch of players that were doing that. Oh my goodness, the breakthrough continues here. German player going to grab away this cutoff point on the road there, denying even more fuel to his opponent. So well done by him. Scout car continuing to be a nuisance here. This player definitely feeling that lack of fuel income. Doesn't have a weapon support center, doesn't have the motor pool, so no answers to the scout car just yet. I guess he does have a weapon support center, and I'm actually blind. That's okay. Grenadiers closing the gap here with their assault packages. Letting them sprint up close here. I'm going to win this fight pretty handily. Both riflemen are focusing down that Grenadier, though. But German is going to handily win this fight. Riflemen on the flank here. Worried about another capture, that fuel up top. There are some captures taking place on that bottom side. And 2 Jaeger on the field for our German here. This player saving up a bit of fuel. I mean, I guess it's not that much. I don't know why I thought this was more than it was. It's like, man, what does he want to do with that 20 fuel he has? That's alright. So, Jaeger's gonna be pretty nasty here. Support elements on the way as well. And German players just a couple minutes away from having a flak panzer on the field. So, pretty dominant position, I would say, to start this game. US player going for a heavy machine gun here. Unafraid of the scout car, just wants to deal with the plethora of infantry on the field from his opponent. And engineers trying to do their best here, but are going to lose this fight against double Pioneer. Might even go down here, doesn't see it, does see it at the last second, going to bail out now. Rifleman just tanking some damage here from this scout car. Trying to prevent any captures from coming in, and it is going to be an assault carrier on the way for a US player. No real surprises there, locking into heavy weapons. Motor pool was fairly unlikely. Breakthrough once again activated. Pretty much feels like the entire US Army on this top side right now. Gonna try and close the gap maybe for an AT grenade here. Is gonna get it, not gonna happen. Retreating at the last minute there. And US player is trying to stop this capture from happening, but isn't going to be successful. And gosh, this scout car just so freaking obnoxious right now. More territory being lost on that bottom side. Grenadiers with assault packages closing the distance here. Grenade going to drive them out of heavy cover. Actually, a great connection with that grenade. And trying to also close the gap with that scout car. Does look like our US player is going to win this fight by force, although it is going to cost him an unreasonable amount of manpower, I should say. 75mm has arrived, though. Closing the gap with the scout car. Going to get one shot. Does need another one. May chase here. Looks like he's got an open field to do so. Might lose vision, though. One more shot. Is going to miss at maximum range there. Scout car should make it into the base, and 75mm is disappointed in themselves. I think we've all been there. Missing a critical shot. And did we see... I know for a fact our US player was making a heavy machine gun. But... don't know if he lost it. His opponent doesn't have a heavy machine gun, so I think he canceled and switched into a different unit there. 75 millimeter getting some extra value there, driving that heavy machine gun out of the building. And I think we're going to see our U.S. player move into this bottom side in a pretty big way here. The machine gun's waiting for the barrage to finish, might just jump right back in the house once it's done there. Here come the Shreks, though. Gonna absolutely destroy this house here. Captain is gonna hang out for just a little bit longer. German player did tech up to his mechanized assault group from his battle group there, letting him call in the half-track and Stoßtruppen combo. Now this, I mean, this is a expensive call-in, but getting access to those early Stoßtruppen can be freaking devastating. So I'm liking that from him. And I'm over here thinking that, well, I'm trying to figure out what's next for a U.S. player, right? And I feel like he's been, yeah, I was going to say bars. He beat me to it. I was over here thinking, man, you know, we're not going to see light vehicles, right? We're not going to see Greyhounds or Chaffies or anything like that. He needs an answer to all this infantry that he's up against, and I think bar rifles is the right call here. I think that also any of the techs available to him from the Infantry Support Center would be pretty good here. In particular logistics, but it is very expensive. 75mm barraging those Stoßtruppen there. And I think that our U.S. player may even want to go double bars, and he is doing that. Very good. Is he doing it across all? He did it across 2 of them, and does have enough munitions for all 3. So double bar rifles on all these riflemen going to make them extremely effective against infantry. And I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of vehicles from his opponent right now, and with that Stoßtruppen call in, it's going to be a little bit before a German goes up to tanks. I mean, it's near, but it's not here yet. And double bar rifles able to hold their own against the low veterancy Stoßtruppen, so nicely done there. 75mm does have vision of the scout car, so I expect we'll see him come on over, and he is. Black Panzer on the way for our German player, and just in time we are seeing another half-track here, so 275mm probably going to be on the field very shortly here. U.S. player finding this half-track once again, might chase one more shot. Shreks are coming out of the base, one more chance. Attack ground going to miss, and nice try there once again. Well done by our German player getting out of there just in time. So, yeah, feels like advanced logistics might be on the cards next here. Flak Pans are getting real aggressive on this half track, though. Second half track on the scene, though, is going to save the first half track here, and U.S. player is going to get a little bit aggressive here, chasing just a little bit. Flak Pans are bailing all the way out, and Captain going to hold down this area. Does need to be careful. There is an awful lot of firepower there. Nicely done by our U.S. player holding this victory point, even managing to capture some stuff on the bottom side. Captain getting out of the house and out of there just in time before the Stummel starts its barrage there. U.S. player returning the favor, going to drive back this heavy machine gun with the double barrage there, rather oppressive. Love to see that. Grenadiers getting the heck out of dodge. Losing against the double bars. So, yeah, I mean, we're seeing... feels like we're starting to see this U.S. infantry kick into high gear here. And I do really think we're going to see advanced logistics. And my guess is that our U.S. player's plan is to save up for Pershing tech later in this game. See if that ends up happening. Interestingly enough, well, ever since I saw Tightrope go for the M5... I just want to see it every game. I have been enjoying that build in my own games, my own 1v1s. It definitely has its weaknesses, but if it's going to work, if there's any map where that type of build could work, it would be this one, right? Because it's very common to see players kind of post up outside their base here, just around the middle, and then kind of rotate to where they're needed. And an M5 AT gun could really fit well into that type of composition. Our German player has upgraded to the radio package on this scout car, so we're going to give him map hacks here, pinging this infantry in the fog of war. Heavy machine gun going to get driven back by this Stummel. Flak Panzer's pissed here, coming in for a quick fight, but 75mm is going to push those Jaegers out of their heavy cover there. Nice little take down here by our German player, securing this middle for himself. Doesn't actually control the victory point, but has driven the US player back. US player coming in with a big push, though. So we are going to see a big old fight here. Flak Panzer's going to have to give up the position. What did that guy just go down to? I think that was that a mine? Must have been a mine there. That's a crazy takedown if that was in fact a mine. I'm going to have to go back and check out what that was. So nicely done there by a German player, taking down that one. That 175mm does have a Martyr on the field. Martyr's, of course, two-shot. These 75mm. So a pretty good answer to what he's up against here. This player hasn't teched anything new just yet. Still feels like he's hurting for fuel a little bit, but nothing too dramatic. Has he added on another building there? I'm just fascinated by these engineers winning this freaking fight against the Stoßtruppen. Both players going to have to get out of there, though. And yeah, no new additions for US players, so just kind of struggling to keep a consistent fuel income, it feels like. He is about to lose his fuel on the top side. Rifleman moving in, though. That's going to be a fight those Grenadiers don't want. They might just finish the decapture and get on out of there. He's going to try and hold the position. Here come the 75mm covering the area, but this scout car still providing vision deep into his opponent's territory, so he knows where those 75mm are. He's able to quickly respond with his Flak Panzer getting out of there. Jaegers also moving in response. Martyr not set up in the right spot just yet. 75mm might go down here to the Shreks. Oh, one Shrek missing, and wow, nicely done. 75mm connecting with all their shots there. Gonna take down that Flak Panzer. That was really important for a US player, and we see how easily that could have gone the other direction, right? I mean, if that Shrek had connected, and if the 75mm hadn't connected, it would be a totally different game right now. So nice little takedown there. Gotta keep both our players in this game here. Stummel helping out these Jaegers. Riflemen have to get out. They are going to get out now. Stummel's not going to be able to pick those units up on their way out. And, you know, despite this game being on an ice edge, does feel like both players are fairly balanced right here. Advanced logistics on the way for a US player. Going to be able to give up some more of his... He's going to be able to throw away some of his units here as we get into this mid-game. I say throw away, right? I mean, it basically means you can be less efficient in combat, and as the game goes on, of course, you're expected to take heavier losses, right? So any discounts on those heavier losses can be good. Stoßtruppen meeting this heavy machine gun here. This player still hasn't repaired his half-track there. Engineers not nearby. Stoßtruppen closing the gap with these scouts are going to win that fight pretty handily. Artillery barrage coming down from the captain there. Both players just going to exchange some blows. Nice grenade connection there on the Jaeger. More riflemen moving in. And yeah, I think we're going to be seeing some of this back and forth as we continue here, right? I mean, it feels like players move into an area, their opponent immediately takes it, and then they just keep repeating ad nauseum, right? So Grenadier's going to take that cutoff point. And I mean, our German player is definitely building himself an advantage here, right? He's up by 150 victory points or so. Going to be feeling pretty good about that. Trying to close the gap with this heavy machine gun, but the heavy machine gun was ready. Does have the 75mm coming in, maybe for some barrages. Going to get a long-range shot on that Martyr. Both units connecting. Dealing some pretty big damage there. Scout car being driven back. Attack grounds into the fog of war. He did not have vision there. That was a really nice shot. 75mm going to finish off the Martyr there. So, US player once again making moves to keep himself in this game. Even going to smoke off that MG there. 75mm coming into barrage. Going to find some Shreks to the face instead, but able to get out of there before any real damage comes down. Scouts are going to finish at least decapture there. So nicely done. Engineers trying to pair up under fire there. That's not something they want to do. Wow. Wow, wow. I mean, that's what I mean by knife's edge, right? I was talking to somebody on Reddit the other day about the fact that you know, games can be over awful quick, right? And I'm over here thinking, well, yeah, absolutely. I think we've all played a 5-minute game and known that it was over, right? And it's just amazing to me that players can go long at this high of level of play, right? Because we see just how fragile these vehicles are. And if anything was going the other direction, it feels like our German would have been in an oppressive position to win the game. But instead, he's lost some units that were right on the edge. And, I mean, it's just been some really nice plays from our US player keeping himself in this. Scout car harassing the captain here. Great use of this unit, of course. Just finding where it can cause trouble without getting into trouble itself. Black Panzer has been re-added. Heavy machine gun going to deal with those riflemen, helping out that Stas troop in there. And it does feel like our German player has this middle pretty well locked down here. US player was making a move for the bottom side, but not going to happen. Going to barrage that heavy machine gun every chance they get. Stas troop moving in, going to force these scouts back as well. Does have a friendly machine gun in the area, should get suppression here. And is going to make those units, force these units back here. Stas Truppen using their Vet 1 ability to get unsuppressed, walking into this heavy machine gun. More heavy machine guns in the area, not facing the right way. Riflemen are also on the scene. So Stas Truppen going to be as annoying for as long as they can. Actually going to take down that heavy machine gun, nicely done by him. This player still needs to get out of there, getting really aggressive. Grenades coming down. Ooh, satchel charge. Gonna be a dodge there. And it feels like our German player's just slowly creeping into his opponent's face here, right? I mean, just moving these heavy machine guns forward a little bit, getting aggressive with those Stas Truppen, etc., etc. I do like that our US player is continuing to just try to take his opponent's victory points. We see him ignoring the cutoff point, as he should, right? That cutoff point barely matters. We're talking about 8 manpower per minute, nothing to write home about. Martyr actually missing a shot there, and 75mm now. Veteran C2 getting some great connections there. Getting aggressive on the Flak Panzer. He knows where the Jaegers are, so he can get aggressive like this. Is going to take down another Flak Panzer. Blinding shot coming from the Stummel. Stummel wants to barrage into the path of retreat there, but not going to happen. And Jaegers did make it back on time to take down one of the 75mm. But a fantastic trade for a US player, taking down 2 units. And Ares say he gets it. Nope, doesn't like those units, so maybe we'll see him stop building those. And a Kettenkrad added on for a German. Interesting choice. Kettenkrad at this stage of the game, it's going to be all about capturing the wings of the map, right? It literally does not want to find units in the fog of war. He may also use it for this increased sight range, but I would be surprised if that was his decision, because he does have this scout car giving him map hacks here. Bunch of mines here. Look, I think those are German mines, if I had to guess. Yes, they are. So, ready for any encroachments into this area. Interestingly placed mines. Feels like they're in a position to catch flanks, right? Potentially coming from this side, or maybe, you know, if you position your units over here and the units try to come this way. It's an interesting placement there. US player snagging some victory points on the bottom side. German player getting really up there in victory points here. US player is, let's take a quick look here. He does have the Panther unlocked, the Pershing unlocked. And our German player has the Tiger unlocked here. But both players are not super close. I mean, I guess Ares is about a minute, 2 minutes out. And Nub is about, yeah, even closer than that. So we're going to see some heavy tanks here very soon. Grenadiers trying to get in there. Half-track being found out by these Jaegers. with the help of the scout car, and is going to drive all those units back. So very interesting. Both players are going to hit that critical super tank timing at about the same instant. And Pershing is available right this second at 180 fuel. So I suspect we're going to see that called in any second now. It's just microing all over the place, doesn't quite see it just yet. And breakthrough being used here to pick up a ton of territory really, really quickly. So nicely done there. Pershing on the field here. Not a whole lot of resistance to be offered by our German through the middle. So we could see Nub get pretty aggressive with this Pershing right up the middle. Does know where the Jaegers were recently, but should recognize that they've moved here. Pershing getting super aggressive and might actually find these deep mines intended to find flanks here. Isn't going to hit him, fortunately for him. Is going to get a good shot on those Pioneers, finding more mines there, disabled by these engineers here. And Pershing getting super aggressive here, finding the scout car, one shot, not going to take him down. Is going to miss anyway. And is finally going to find that mine. Might even find the second one here, which would be freaking devastating. The good news for our U.S. player is he has a bunch of units in position to defend this Pershing, including a heavy machine gun to suppress the Jaegers. Jaegers are going to get some shots with their Shreks here. Panzerfaust even got fired. Stummel coming in to get in on the show. But infantry has been suppressed by the heavy machine gun, and Pershing is going to limp away here. So nice little... I mean, we've seen players make that same mistake before, right? Finding some pretty devastating mines at the worst possible instant, and the difference this time is that he had the support of his infantry there. So well done. Kettenkrad being focused by this heavy machine gun here. And actually the vehicle is going to move up to stop this capture from happening. Interesting choice. Is bailing out now. And barrages look like they're going to force away this heavy machine gun. But U.S. player was at least able to decapture the middle there. So it has stopped the bleeding. Engineers have made contact with that Pershing, so we're going to get him back up to full health here. And yeah. So, I mean, good early use of the Pershing. Wasn't able to find anything other than a couple mines, but didn't lose the tank. Did push back his opponent a little bit. Made some plays. Could have gone better, could have gone worse, right? Problem is, here comes the Tiger right now. And that's going to be pretty scary to deal with. And then Tiger is on the field just now here. So, I mean, we've seen our U.S. player making some pretty darn aggressive plays. And they've been working for him so far. And I don't anticipate him making a change in strategy here. Jaeger's once again going to find this Pershing. Pershing's finally repaired its engine damage there, so it's going to be able to roll out really quickly here. We do see a second Pioneer added on to further increase that repair speed. Heavy machine gun continuing to suppress these Jaegers. 2 misses in a row for those Jaegers. Blinding shot coming out from the Stummel there. And Pershing driving right up on these Jaegers, totally unafraid. But suppression is going to come in big here, and these Jaegers need to get the heck out. Does not want to lose that Vet 3 Jaeger. Black Dragon artillery called down here, driving back all these units. Doesn't look like he managed to pick up any units. Kettenkrad did go down while that was happening, and Rifleman able to pick up another Jaeger there. So, as I was saying, U.S. player unafraid to be aggressive here, and is going to pick up some units. I'm so excited I'm pausing the game there. And, yeah. Wow. Stosstroopin getting aggressive here, finding this Pershing, though. Walking right over a mine there. Oh, man, mine being detonated by the Pershing, dealing huge, huge damage. One more shot, maybe, is going to happen, but looked like he lost vision there. So, all right, where do we go from here? German player down big in terms of units here, right? We've seen him lose a Jaeger. He lost a Grenadier relatively recently. Ton of vehicles, of course. Scout car did go down, so lots of heavy losses here. Question is, what's next? You know, it feels like I mean, our German has a lot of fuel, so you know, feels like tanks may still be on the menu for him. Infantry at this stage, don't know how much they're going to do against the Pershing. Martyrs can do pretty well against Pershing. but there's actually a lot of infantry, and it feels like our German doesn't actually have all the infantry answers that he needs. I think no matter what happens, as long as he can keep this Tiger alive, he's still in this game. And we'll see what he wants to add on to that. And, you know, as I'm talking through it, despite the fact he's got a ton of fuel, it feels like a Stoßtruppen could actually be pretty decent here. But is going to go for a Martyr, instead prioritizing the depth of that Pershing over the combat effectiveness against all these riflemen and heavy machine guns. You know, while I'm thinking about it, I've actually been really liking what I've been seeing from some of our top-level U.S. players. I've been seeing a lot more riflemen into heavy machine guns, and it feels like such a cleaner way to play the game. Because when you have riflemen early, and you can get them up to Veteran C3, they really can carry you through the mid-game in a big way. And then you can add on these heavy machine guns later, and they can catch up in veterancy because of their defensive bonuses that they get, and the fact that your opponent's going to be adding a lot of infantry over the course of the game. So overall, I think I've been liking this strategy a bit more than just heavy machine gun spam. It's much more versatile, and I think a lot more powerful. Of course, everybody says riflemen suck. And by the way, I think I think they are going to buff riflemen indirectly, and that's going to be crazy. Vet 3 heavy machine gun going down to this Tiger. Pershing trying to have something to say about it, but Tiger is going to destroy that heavy machine gun there. So nice little denial to his opponent there. Jaeger's here to support the Tiger. Rifleman grabbing a ton of territory on the bottom side for free. Scouts popping smoke to cover these riflemen as they capture this point. 75mm has been re-added here for our U.S. player. Going to barrage this heavy machine gun. We're going to see another 75mm here, I suspect, in short order. And big tanks just duking it out up top. And this is what I mean when I say kind of feels like our German player needs more riflemen. Oh man, Stummel going down to that Pershing. Nice pick up there. Once again, just sneaking in, taking out one vehicle, backing out. Really nicely done there. More mines on the scene here for our German. Doesn't want to get dove by that Pershing. Makes a lot of sense to me. Stoßtruppen doing their thing on the wings of the map, right? Stoßtruppen can just do whatever the heck they want as long as there's no Pershing in the area. And as I say, that Pershing moving over to deal with them. Leaving our German player in the dust up here. Engineer's just going to grab that point real quick before being driven back, it seems. Yep. So, I mean, only 63 victory points here, right? So our German is right on the cusp. I think I would like to see him just focus victory points and nothing else, right? I mean, we've seen our U.S. player sort of doing that all game, and that's the only reason he has 63 points to talk about here. But if he can just get active in just a couple places for, you know, tens of seconds at a time, he's going to have this victory in the bag, right? So I like this by these Grenadiers. Capture that point. Pioneers on the top side. Capture this point. Just be annoying. Bleed your opponent just a little bit at a time here. Send those Stoßtruppen wherever the Pershing isn't. So he knows where the Pershing is right now, or at least where it was last seen. He needs to avoid that area with those Stoßtruppen, right? Just focus on getting these points, even using that low health Pioneer there to finish the capture. Heavy machine gun still holding it down here in the face of these 75mm. So well done by him. Jaeger on the retreat, though. Oh, man, almost going down. Pershing wanting to get aggressive here. Don't think he's going to pick him up. Stoßtruppen don't want to go in there. Another attack round into the fog of war. Not going to find those Jaeger, but a nice try nonetheless there. And Tiger rotating here, just covering 2 victory points at once with that huge range. Love to see that. U.S. player recognizing his mobility advantage, right? Just capturing everything that he can. He should also know that he has a squad advantage at this point, just based on what he's seen from his opponents. So, and a half track. That's the mechanized assault group called in again for our German player here, giving him another Stoßtruppen. I think that is a great decision. Those Stoßtruppen going to do well against all these units here. Martyr finding a shot on the Pershing. Nice hit there. Another good hit, once again, in the fog of war. Pershing getting a shot. Martyr not going to find him again there. Engineers backing away in the face of those Stoßtruppen there. And with a low health Pershing there, our German player might be able to sneak into this victory point here. I think he should try and go for that. Rifleman did manage to snake that top side, so is stopping the bleeding for the moment here. But yeah, German did manage to drive back the Pershing here, which is being repaired up now. Does have a few seconds of breathing room, and is going to get onto this victory point here. 41 points remain for our U.S. player. Instantly going for this middle. Heavy machine gun's going to have something to say about that, as is the Tiger. Those Vet 3 infantry doing pretty well here. And here comes a blitz from our U.S. player, going to get on the hunt. German player kind of sees it coming. 75mm not wanting to chase. Tiger trying to use the cover of the house here. And is going to get up behind his mine. And one of the mines been found out by these engineers on the front line. But German player recognizing that there's mines in the fog of war, not going to chase too far there. So well done. Martyr getting on the edge here. Picking away at that Pershing. And actually destroying the mine once again with the Pershing, damaging these Stoßtruppen there and actually suppressing them, preventing the capture of the middle there. But game continues to be on a knife's edge, down to 35 points as our U.S. does have control of 1.5 victory points. German player moving in a big way. Pershing can't stay to fight. Martyr missing his shots. Panzerschreck's getting some connections on the side here. Martyr standing his ground. 75mm missing all over the place. Might get one more. Is going to get one more. That was freaking huge. And while that happened, Stoßtruppen picked up the middle. I mean, that's the reverse coin flip, right? I mean, I was talking earlier about how our U.S. player was hitting a bunch of clutch shots, and we saw the exact opposite there, missing every shot that he needed to take down that Martyr, and paid for it with 2 half-tracks as well as control of both victory points here. Scouts moving in. Stoßtruppen see it, though. Should be able to stop this decapture from happening. Going to be close. Is going to stop that from happening. Big deal there. Rifleman moving into the middle. Hedging his bets here, trying to capture anything that he can. Should be able to get this decapture before losing these Riflemen. Pershing fighting while being repaired here. Is at Veteran C3. Unable to finish the capture there are those Riflemen. Scouts still trying to fight on this bottom side. Stoßtruppen going to win here. Scouts going to go down from the looks of it. Riflemen get on the point, though. Not wanting to lose the Stoßtruppen, but jumping into this half-track here. Rifleman did manage to capture the point and is going to take the center point as well. MG42 going down there. Barrage continuing. Oh my god, I cannot believe this game is still going. 13 points left here. I mean, it is a slow bleed here. Stoßtruppen did not win that fight. Did lose the half-track there, but Stoßtruppen managed to make it out. Martyr helping out against the Pershing. Tiger facing him down as well. Shells bouncing. 75mm on the scene as well. Here come the Shreks, taking down 175mm. But Tiger looks like he's in deep trouble right now. Pershing going to get another good shot. 75mm bouncing. Shreks helping out. 30 cal suppressing. And yeah, these anti-tank infantry got to get out of there. Tiger's going to take one more shot here, but does look like he's going to go down. Grenadiers coming in. Might get a Shrek off. Are going to get it, disabling the unit, but there's nothing left here to deal damage to that tank. And that is pretty devastating for our German player. Wow. Yeah. And U.S. player just destroying everything on his way out, recognizing his strength right now. Might even take down that med bunker while he's at it. Rifleman controlling bottom. And what a swing there. I mean, the Shreks being suppressed by the heavy machine gun, capturing the victory point, while the Pershing was able to push into that Tiger. 75mm even came in, dealt quickly with the Martyr there. Just what a clutch fight. What a clutch fight here. Heavy machine gun still ready for this push here. Going to meet both of these Stoßtruppen. Grenadiers pushing into this bottom side is going to be able to take 1 point here. Doing this the hard way, though, is our German player sending all his infantry into this meat grinder here. Gonna lose a bunch of Staatstruppen on their way out. Riflemen plus 75mm gonna take him down, and Rifle's probably gonna steal or destroy. That's 42 there. And your eco never hurts. What does that mean? Just keeps going. Yeah. I mean, it was a slow death to attrition for our German player. And I mean, the game's not over because he only has 13 points. Our U.S. player does, but with no real tools here, it does feel like it's over. You know, it was a slow death, right? We saw that our U.S. player get some really clutch pickups in the mid game of all those light medium and light vehicles from his opponent, and it just led to this situation where it's just slowly crept up on him how behind he was. And our U.S. player, I mean, look at his army right now. It's all the riflemen he had from the start. It's it's one of his heavy MGs. He's kept his engineers alive to do the repairing, and he's just able to keep throwing down more and more half-tracks here, because they're a dime a dozen. And meanwhile, this Vet 3 Pershing just doing all the work. So, yeah, I think we've all been there, losing a very close game. Well played to both players. You know, it was on a nice edge pretty much the entire game. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one. Actually, before I sign off here is your elos. Aries 57, and Nub is number 6 in the world. So I mean, 57 against number 6, very, very close, very, very close. All right, y'all, have a good one. See you in the next video.